motivation makes the whole difference, as such that in all the classes, just see that that whatever I learn from this class, that it'll be of benefit for myself and benefit for others, all others. And the idea is that this morning what we discussed, that the benefit flows to others through the medium of compassion, that I must cultivate my compassion more. And in fact, to be very honest, in our lives we see that more the compassionate, more happy you are. More the compassionate, more people will see and you as a genuine friend, and when they go through difficult times, they'll turn towards you. And of course, this is your happiness and happiness for others. So with this mind, let's turn to page 3. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to win for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to win for all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to win for all sentient beings. Arya Nagarjuna student, Arya Nagarjuna, who happened in 1st century AD, in terms of the date, there's a little bit of discrepancy between the different scholars. The earlier scriptures, there were little discrepancies there. And as of the date. So, not much thing to worry about the date. So around 1st century, some say it's BC, but some say the AD, is fine. The point is that his message, his teaching on the wisdom of emptiness, which he explained the thoughts of the Buddha who taught that in Tibetan, Tongba Shiva, Kewa Mebesu, Mishibine Draw, Kimjoba, Teda Tujing of the Tabzukir by Jabagwin and Zuberze. What the Buddha is indicating is that here the same Tongba Shiva, Kewa Mebesu, the unborn nature, the peaceful, and the emptiness. But failing to see this reality, the beings wander in samsara. The great compassionate one, with numerous reasons, try to drive the beings in this direction, in the direction of the wisdom of emptiness. So, and this is this concept. The failing to understand this concept of the emptiness, then we continue to suffer in samsara. For example, like, let's say, how many of us, you have some confidence that, okay, 5 years later, I'll be there, right? 5 years later, I'll be in this particular place, or this will be my situation, or I'll be happy. How many of you can predict that with great assurance? Raise hands. No one. How many cannot predict? Raise hands. After 5 years. Then what about after 10 years? 5 years may not be predicted. Then after 10 years. So more the duration, more the length of the time, less the predictability. You agree? Less we can predict. So the point is that this was samsara, we never know. Forget about 10 years, 5 years. Even say tomorrow what is going to happen. We just rely on our, say, some kind of blind, say the belief that, okay, tomorrow, then on what day do we finish? 10th? No, 10th, 11th, 10th. 10th we finish, and 10th, how many you plan to go up for Dharamsala? Up? Raise hands, any plan? One? Okay. Up, or Delhi? And you're sure you're going to go there? Right? It's a plan. We never know whether this have to be very sure. It's not inauspicious words, but this reality. So in other words, that this is samsara. If you cannot predict even what is after 10 days, then 10 years, 10 lifetimes, next life, 10 lifetimes and so forth is very complicated. So, and this is samsara. Samsara where we have to live in the uncertainty, the world of uncertainty. And this answer is very scary. Think about this, for example, in Israel, when was the first thing happened? The sudden attack in Israel. 7th October, right? 7th October the attack happened, right? 7th October attack happened. 2 days before, people were so much at calm, peace. They would have planned for after the holiday, next year, and so forth. And suddenly that happened. And then now, even some of my friends who were there, they're not staying in a hotel because they already they are evacuated from the place by the government and put them in a hotel. So don't they live, the children, they're living in a hotel. So this is unpredictability, and it can hit anybody. And if you think about this, it's very scary. It's very scary. So this is what the Buddha indicated, that the failing to see this, the emptiness, the beings wander in samsara. So how to get out of this problem? Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is so important. We must get this understanding. So they say that you are happy, you're unhappy, you're disturbed, not disturbed. It's all about your mental state. How many agree with me, raise hands? It's all about a mental state. And some people right now at 317 or maybe 319, some people are very fresh, some people a little drowsy, feeling still, the lunch is not digested fully, so you're feeling a little drowsy. Some people very fresh, some people half. So it's not that, why are you feeling so drowsy? Don't blame the weather, right? Don't blame the atmosphere here, right? So the point is that it's against about your mental state. You agree? So sometimes when I feel, say, particularly I would say when was that? When I was in my 20s. This is one thing that that many of you who are in your 20s I can see. In my 20s, I was just wondering, sometimes all the leaves, look at these leaves, even the leaves, they appear so sad. Look at the leaves, they're so sad. You're not moving at all, right? And the walls so sad. Everything is so sad, so gloomy, static, slow, right? So look, so everyone is so. And then suddenly I see somebody who looks so fresh. How come that he or she is able to have this freshness? How come? So these are things which are going in my mind when I was in my 20s. Okay, so the point is all about the mental states. It's not about the weather. It's not about whether you are happy. Everything is so amazing. These leaves, they're not disturbing each other. They're so beautiful, right? When you're at peace, you see everything's beautiful. You'll listen, I'm like, wow, it's amazing, so fresh, like this. It's amazing. So everything seems so beautiful when your mind is happy. When your mind is not happy, everything seems so boring, sad, gloomy, grim. This is how our mind works. So it's about the mind. So where something is wrong with the mind, we end up into miseries. And these miseries can range from, say, 1 to 10. then it depends what kind of mental state that determines how happy, comfortable, sad you are. So this is an extremely important point. With this in mind, Bodhisattva, the Arya Nagarjuna student, Arya Deva, what he said is that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. Let me repeat it. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on emptiness. Should a doubt arise, doubt or qualm arise in the mind, will shatter samsara to pieces. Say, for example, you are dreaming, and you see the dream is real. As long as you adhere to the dream is so real, we are being the slave to the dream. We are being driven by the dream. We are under the sway of the dream. And then say, how many of you, let me just raise hands. How many like to have the dream of having audience with the Holy Dalai Lama? Raise hands. Raise hands those who like to have a dream of having audience with the Holy Dalai Lama. And then the Ajiriji take all of us to the audience of His Holiness. And then in your dream, then His Holiness asks His Holiness, Ajiriji, why don't we have a cup of tea together with me? How many like to have this dream? Raise hands. Having a cup of tea with His Holiness. Raise hands. Are you very pleasant dream, right? You're all smiling. So good. Next question. Who is going to have this dream tonight? Raise hands. Who is going to have this dream tonight? Raise hands. Omar, why not? It's a very pleasant dream.
No control gets your life.
Did you hear what he said? We have no control of a dream. We have no freedom to choose a dream. How many agree with Omar? Raise hands. We have no freedom to choose a dream. Lack of freedom is suffering. You're getting it? Lack of freedom is suffering. So we talk about the freedom, human rights, animal rights, and so forth. So lack of freedom is suffering. This is what we need to know. So as long as we are under the sway of the dream, there's no freedom. However pleasant the dream is, we have no freedom. Even the most pleasant dream, it has the element of lack of freedom. What is lack of freedom is suffering. So, even the pleasant dreams, they are tainted by the lack of freedom. So at the moment, what we're going through, so we think that we have a freedom. I have a freedom. I came here, dear Pop, with my own freedom, right? Yes, there's some degree of freedom. We have a choice. Lucky that we make a good choice. For example, I chose this topic for this retreat. This is extremely important for us. This is a way by which for us to wake up from the state of ignorance. So it's always a part of dream, but the dream meant to wake you up from the dream. Okay, so therefore, this great teacher, Arya Nagarjuna student, he said that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on the wisdom of emptiness. Should a doubt arise, it shatters your samsara into pieces, where you start questioning what you are saying. Is it real? You start questioning, then that is the one which takes you away from the loss of freedom, takes away from the unconventional dream. It shatters samsara. What's samsara? Samsara is, don't think that this place is samsara, right? Anyone, what is samsara? Quick. What is samsara? You heard about samsara, right? The girl over there? All around us is samsara? Okay, anyone else? Huh? Materialistic world. Anyone else? Cycle of existence, meaning? Six realms. Okay, this is samsara. Anyone else? Samsara is what our mind creates. It's a mental attitude. Anyone else? Wrong views. samsara. Anyone else? Okay, so what we do is that in the course of this retreat, we'll try to identify, say, how samsara is really understood. You getting it? Same. Some people, they say that, oh, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are better than the Buddhas, because the Buddhas, they left samsara. And the Bodhisattvas are those beings who deliberately, come back to samsara. How many of you got this impression from reading some books or hearing some teachers saying, resents, that the Bodhisattvas, they deliberately come back to samsara, and Buddhas, they left samsara completely, they abandoned us. Resents? Okay, yes. So this is a total naivety, total lack of understanding. This gives you the impression it's so like the samsara is a place. You go away, you're free from samsara. And some people who come back, knowing that this is not a pleasant place, but there are people suffering. I must come back to help them, right? I should not go to another place. So that concept of samsara is extremely coarse, is not the real understanding of samsara. There's no one place from which you leave or you go back. No, it's not like that. It is as Ajahn said, samsara is your matter life, how your mind creates. Your mind creates, right? And later on, you'll come to learn a little bit more technically as to what samsara exactly is. And the wrong views, what Anthony just said, wrong views, mistaken the attitude, these all will boil down to the same point as to what constitutes samsara. Okay, so let's not forget this. We have to identify what samsara is. So, how many of you had nightmares in your life? Resents nightmares. In sleep, you have nightmares. Who never had any experience with nightmares? Resent? No experience with nightmares. Nightmares. The answer, you must have many nightmares. No nightmares at all. They're lucky. That's amazing. Okay, so anyone else who did have nightmares in life? Resents? Who had nightmares in their life? So look at it, even the very young ones also had nightmares, right? Okay, so people tell me, what is nightmare? Extremely bad dream, very scary dreams, right? Very scary dreams. Say, do you agree with me that if you're going through extremely scary dreams, you try to shake yourself? Sometimes you're aware there's a dream and it's very scary that you want to wake yourself up. For this, you try to move your body to wake yourself up. Yes, how many of you do that? Raise hands. Yes, many. You're okay. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't succeed, right? So I'm sure that many of you agree with me, the approach. I just try to keep my eyes open and the dream starts. At the moment eyes automatically closes down, again the dream continues. Yes, raise hands. Scary dream continues. Okay. So the point is that whatever you do to wake yourself up, that is the one which will shatter your nightmare. Shatter meaning destroy your nightmare. How many agree with me? So waking up means to wake yourself up. That is the means to shatter your nightmare. So nightmare is a samsara. Samsara is a nightmare. It's extremely, extremely scary. And particularly you get a glimpse of emptiness. You get a glimpse of emptiness, then you say that, wow, now I understand what samsara is. Samsara is really very scary. You're getting it? Okay. So, Bodhisattva Arya Deva, the student of Arya Nagarjuna, they taught that those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. What is emptiness? When you say, what is emptiness? When you question the reality of what you are seeing, when you don't question the reality that you are seeing, you are sucked up. You are just drowned into the dream. So, if that happens, this is indication that you are less meritorious. Meaning, less meritorious meaning those who are way too far from waking up. These are less meritorious people. But it doesn't mean that some are less meritorious, some are meritorious. That I'm very unfortunate. I'm less meritorious. Less meritorious. Say if you are here, we're going to have the audience with this holiness Samsara, right? So how long does it take? 12 hours, right? It's too far away. It's far away, right? So what should you do? If I keep saying far away, you will never go closer. Start taking the walk. The first step, second step, third step, every time you become closer. So closer towards your waking up, you are known as the meritorious one. You're getting it? It's not that there are some people referred to as the word labeled as meritorious. Some people label us non-meritorious. No, there is no such thing. It's that we make ourselves non-meritorious. We can make ourselves meritorious. If we take steps, we become meritorious. Right? The fact that we all come here for this retreat. Come here with this is a clear indication that you are meritorious. You have taken step. But it is not that easy. It doesn't mean that this text is difficult. The point is that for somebody to really say this, some contact with these teachings is not that easy. It requires a lot of merit. And you may think that, no, the young ones may say that, I accidentally heard from somebody. It's not accidental. There are so many people. As you just said, there are so many people who are connected with Dear Pa, who are connected with myself. But there are so many new faces here. You're getting it? New faces. It's all your merit and my merit, your merit, that we are together here to study this text. It requires a lot of merit. It's not that easy. Okay, so those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on emptiness. Should you have a doubt? What is that doubt? That what I'm saying, is this reality? Is this reality? What I'm saying, is that the reality? You put a question mark to the existence. What are you seeing? Then that is a way to wake you up. That is the indication of your being meritorious. Though should a doubt arise, should a doubt arise in this teaching on emptiness, it will shatter your samsara into its pieces. Your miseries will be shattered. Your miseries will be gotten rid of. This is so precious. Okay. So with this in mind, the Bodhicitta Muni, after becoming enlightened under the Bodhi tree, and the reason why, the reason why did the Bodhicitta, Prince Siddhartha, at the age of 29, he left the palace? Why? Quick. Anyone? Raise hands.
He was disillusioned with the world.
He was disillusioned by the world. Anyone else? In search of Dharma. Anyone else? He is suffering. The world is suffering. Seeing suffering, he wanted to do something for the world. Very good. Anyone else?
He had a doubt in reality.
Oh, okay. What's the reality? Okay, he's a philosopher, right? Okay, he's a doubt. Good. Anyone else? But in search of truth, what's the truth, right? Whether quantum physics is not true or not. Quantum physics is true or relativity theory is true, right? To explore that. Or? Okay, so let's not forget this. Finally, whatever the reality is, the fact is that nobody wants to suffer. You're getting it? Nobody wants to suffer. And in his life as a young prince, he could see so many things happening, wars happening among the kingdoms. In the palace, he could see injustices, how the young men of the royal families, they abuse others, right? He could see all these injustices in the palace, and how the common people suffer, the wars. He could see all these things. So this is the reality. So with this in mind, then this young prince thought that, okay, so I'm already 29 years old. He was already 29 years old. And if I continue like this, at the most I can become the next king to replace his father, to become a king. And as a king, what can I do? These are the problems. Not only the problems of the palace here, the kingdom here, but all the people even in the other kingdoms also, they suffer. So as a king, you can, at the most, you can do something for your kingdom, but not to everyone. So where lies the solution? In other words, disillusioned by the miseries, the world is going through, and they want to do something. So he thought that by following a traditional life, becoming prince, becoming king, there's no solution. I have to do something different. So he left the palace. Then in search of truth. In search of truth. What is the truth that can get rid of our problems? So he was in search of solution to all the problems. So with this, then finally he discovered he met with his first teacher. Who was his first teacher? Anyone? Acharya Larakalam. Okay. And some of you may be wondering, how come that they already know? You're getting it? Which means they attended these retreats many times before. So the point is that it's like for us to, in a way, what they're doing is like to inspire us to learn this more ourselves. Learn this more, then you'll really become solid. You will have a solid ground of this knowledge. This is so important. It's not just one retreat. They studied this for so long. Okay, so he first met the first teacher, Acharya. Acharya meaning the great master, Acharya Alarakalam. And very soon, because the Prince Siddhartha, who was to become the Buddha later on, he was, right from the childhood, he was exceptionally bright child, exceptionally bright and exceptionally compassionate. So with this intelligence and so well trained as a young prince, all this training in academic, say the field as well as in the archeries, all these the mundane skills, with all these, his mind was so active with added to his already extremely intelligent mind. So he soon reached the same level of expertise as his teacher pertaining to the meditation. Then he asked for more teachings. And the teacher said, no, you already know everything now. And you stay with me, all my students are your students, so you guide them. And Prince Siddhartha said that still I've not found the solution. What solution? For all the beings, to remove this of all the beings. And he found this second teacher, Acharya Uddrika. So he found the second teacher, Acharya Uddrika. And Acharya Uddrika's meditative realization is way higher. And if we are lucky, you can also inquire through these questions to the seniors. That this whole samsara is divided into three groups, known as three realms. Three realms. The first one, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. And the more details you inquire from the other seniors. Desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. And the form and formless, they are very, you can take birth there only if you have a very refined meditative state. Only then you can take birth there, or else we should be always there in the desire realm, where we are now. This is the desire realm. And I don't want to go into detail as of now. Otherwise, all these, the introduction will take a lot of time. So with this, the Acharya Udrega, the last one, which is the last one? Three realms, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. Within formless, there are four. There are four levels. The formless, there are four levels. The infinite space, for those who are, who don't mind going into all these details. Infinite space, infinite consciousness, vacuity, and peak of existence. Let me repeat it. The infinite space, infinite consciousness, vacuity, and peak of existence. Four. So these four, we see that the Acharya Alargalam, the first teacher, he attained the third level of the formless. And the Acharya Udrega, the second teacher, reached the last one. He attained the final one, the peak of existence, the meditative experience of the peak of existence. And again, this Prince Siddhartha, he reached the same level and asked for more teachings. And the teacher said, no, you have already reached the peak, right? Peak of existence, you have reached the peak. What is peak? The highest level. You have already reached the highest level. So there's nothing beyond this. All my students are your students. Please guide them. And then again he said the same thing. I came here for a purpose, to look for a solution to all the problems. And from my experience, I see that I'm here to get the solution to all the problems. So finally, then he went in search of this solution. He spent 6 years in meditative state. 6 years. Finally, he realized the emptiness concept. You're getting it? He realized the emptiness concept, which we're going to study. He realized that. Then, that is the solution. So, with the COVID, tell me, those of us here, how many of you were during the time of COVID? Raise your hands in this world. But the COVID was in this world. How many of you were here? Raise your hands. In a way, I'm asking anybody who's born just last year? No one. We all had the experience of COVID. We're getting it? So tell me that with the COVID, when the COVID came and it started to break out in the world. So what did the scientists do? Pfizer and Moderna. So what did they do? They invented the vaccine, right? Invented vaccine, and then what? When the vaccine is invented, started to market it? No. Okay. Anybody? Nurses, doctors, raise hands. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, tell me. Okay, tell me, once a vaccine is already invented, then what is the next process? Distribute. Yeah, distribute, market it. Right? Agree? Not agree? Here, the Ajika Dwala doesn't agree. So she's the one in the peak of COVID. She flew from America to India, risking her life. When the people here, people hospitalized in the ICU, she flew from America to train the Tibetans all in different places to how to manage the COVID. So she'll tell us. So what should we do after the inventing the vaccine? What should we do? Test it to let it go through the trial, right? The trial, say human trial? It has to go through human trial. You are not supposed to market it. No distribution. First, you have to check the efficacy of this, the vaccine. You're getting it in Pfizer, said to be 95% efficacy, right? Pfizer. Moderna? I don't know, right? So the point is that we have to put this to trial, test. So the Buddha found this, the wisdom of emptiness, as the solution, right? So what should we do now? To test it, to see if it works, to test the efficacy of the wisdom of emptiness. So what he did, he was meditating to really test it, to see how efficacious that wisdom is. He tested this. And then he discovered that wisdom of emptiness is the waking state. That is the counterforce of sleep state, ignorance of sleep. So ignorance of sleep is shattered. You getting it? Okay. So why did you jump from the building? Because you were chasing the cat. You remember that? Okay. And why were you chasing the cat? Because you're very angry with the cat, right? Why you were angry with the cat? Because it jumped over your delicious cheesecake, right? So what's the problem if he jumped over your cheesecake? I love the cheesecake so much. Attachment to the cheesecake. You're getting it? So attachment to cheesecake, anger towards the cat, ended you up in the falling off the building, and then what? Broken legs or whatever. Okay, so miseries. All these started, what is the initial trigger of all these problems? Seeing the dream is real? Anyone? Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes. Attachment to what? No, this is all included. So, all the trigger, ultimate trigger, what's the ultimate trigger? Desire, ignorance. Okay, don't think that you're philosophers, right? I'm talking about a simple dream. Okay, why was the trigger? Seeing the dream is real. Seeing the dream is real, or? Yeah, sleeping. Falling asleep. Falling asleep is a problem. You're getting it? Falling asleep. This is, what's your name? John, thank you. Amazing. Falling asleep. Sleep is a problem. Sleep is the root of the problem. Sleep which resembles ignorance. That triggered sleep, then in the sleep you created the dream. With the dream, then you will see the cheesecake. Then you see it's a real attachment arises. Cat jumps over. You feel angry with the cat. You chase the cat. Action, karma. And then you jump. And then you have the miseries. So all triggered by seeing the dream is real. And why that happened? Because of the dreaming. Because of sleeping. Right? That's a problem. So, our job is to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is, if we understand in this sense, then we see that the wisdom of emptiness is so precious. So the Buddha, he was meditating. What happened is that he woke up from the sleep of ignorance. With this, what happens? Then the dream cheesecake stops. Right? He woke up. Dream cheesecake stops. What happens? Attachment to the dream cheesecake stops. With this, what happens? No cat jumps. Right? With this, anger towards the cat stops. With this, your action of chasing the cat stops. With this, the cat jumping to the other building stops. With this, you will not also try to jump to the other building. You cannot jump. And then falling down stops. All your misery stops the moment you wake up. So this is what happened, Buddha in the meditation. So the Buddha realized that this is the solution which he has to share, which he has to teach all other sentient beings. You getting it? Okay. So what happened was that with this experimentation, trial, putting this wisdom of emptiness into trial, experientially, he saw that all the miseries, all the series of events in the process of creating miseries stopped. He experienced the ultimate happiness, ultimate contentment, ultimate happiness. All the fears dissolve, and the mind manifests its true nature, which is the gold. It manifests fully. So that this is known as the Sugata. Sugata meaning the one who has gone to the bliss of perfection. The one who has gone to the bliss of perfection, perfect purity. So where his mind manifests its true nature of what? True nature of what? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Fearlessness is nirvana, infinite happiness is, hey, this morning I think we learned, or I'll be good, thank you. Otherwise, I thought that we learned it 10 years before. Yeah, so thank you, the young ones who remind me. Okay, so they say because of this manifestation, once the true nature of his mind, what happens? All his fears dropped. That's a fearlessness. What's the fearlessness, technically speaking? Nirvana. Not only that, his mind expands. No factor can stop his mind. Okay. The example given with the Buddha nature, example given by Arya Nagarjuna, is a light in a vase, a light in a vase, light in a vase. The purpose of light is to glow, but when you put it in the vase, it cannot glow. So you may think that there's no light inside this vase. And you want to study, you want to read the books. And you go into the room, you see it's so dark. And I said, there's a light there. But you said, no, there's no light, there's a light there. How do you know that? If possible, try to punch a hole to this vase. You punch a hole, what happens? From this hole, the light from inside will beam forth. And still, if you want to know it thoroughly, you break the vase. What happens? The light inside will beam forth in all 10 directions. You agree? So, this vase is like the mental defilements created by ignorance and its stains. Break this vase of the ignorance, the light inside, your true nature of the mind will manifest. The true nature of this light will manifest. What's the true nature of the light inside this vase? Is to pervade in all 10 directions. So your mind will become so expansive, it expands freely. This is known as the infinite. It expands infinitely, this infinite happiness. And how you're expanding your mind infinitely in its true form equals the infinite happiness. This is again another thing that we need to learn. And if you're interested, those questions which I ask, which I'm not doing now, you jot them down, these questions. Later on, if you get time, you have to ask me, you have to ask the seniors. Okay, why I'm jumping very quickly is because that we don't have much time. Emptiness is a huge topic, but keep in mind that don't tell the monk scholars here down there. There's a huge monastery, Samsara monastery. Don't go. If you go down, keep yourself, maintain a dignified silence. Don't disclose what you're studying here. 1 week of emptiness. Don't say this. They're studying life 10 years of emptiness. We study emptiness for 7 years? No, 7 months? No, 7 days. Don't disclose this, right? Say if they ask you, what are you doing? No, we are in Deer Park chilling out. All right. Don't say that we are studying emptiness. Then say, wow, this is amazing. Usually there's no program on emptiness in Deer Park. Yes, of course. They may call Ajirji, right? Is the program on emptiness? I say, yeah, right? And you say, right, emptiness, then 7 years, how many years? Then you will say, no, it's 7 days, right? Right? Okay, the best is just go there, don't talk about emptiness to them, right? But at least don't tell them that we are doing emptiness for 7 days. Okay. And Buddha remained for 6 years, and we are doing this for 6 days. Buddha remained for 6 years of deep meditation, and we are doing we're expecting emptiness in 6 plus 1 day. Right? For Buddha, 7 years. For us, okay. So the point is that this is what the Buddha did. Experience of Sugadahood, the state of the Sugata, the one who has transcended to the perfect bliss of purity. So with that experience, then the Buddha went to protect the beings, by sharing the wisdom that he obtained, he realized with all the beings. Okay. Do you see the verse which reads, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide? You see that? Okay, now look, this word, these two lines will make perfect sense to us. Okay, so the point is that Prince Siddhartha, he left in order to learn, in order to look for the solution by which to guide all the beings towards the ultimate happiness or ultimate contentment. Right? So, to become a reliable guide, the one who has transformed from this, before 6 years, after 6 years, he transformed. Before 6 years, he was just an ordinary prince. After 6 years, he was transformed into a reliable guide to guide all the sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. Reliable guide. And what motivated him to do that? Motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings. This is motivation. With this, what he did? He was in search of the path which he was to teach the beings, teacher. The solution which he was to teach the sentient beings, that the teacher. So this, the wisdom of emptiness, which he was to teach all the beings, that he's first, before teaching, he experimented on himself. Experimented on himself, he attained the state of Sugata. Next, Sugata. What is Sugata? State of bliss, perfect bliss of purity. State of perfect bliss of purity. And with this experience of Sugatahood, then he went to protect the beings by sharing the wisdom of emptiness to all the beings. That makes him the protector. You're getting it? Okay, so this is how he proceeded. With this in mind, if you really think that the teachings of Buddha is something which I have to learn, right? Or I want to explore Buddhism, or I want to practice the teachings of Buddha, then take this as a role model, these two lines as your role model. Then I remember that on many occasions his students would cite these two lines in Tibetan. But we also conclude by saying Chasel Lo. Lo is the end, is the conclusion. So who composed this? This was composed by one great Indian master by the name Acharya Dignaga. Acharya Dignaga. That was 6th century AD. He composed this text. And then this word of salutation of that text. And so this text, after 100 years, another great logician, Buddhist logician, appeared, Acharya Dharmakirti. After 100 years, Acharya Dharmakirti came. And he just glanced through these two lines and he was thrilled to see that, wow, this just two lines, but it's heavily laden with meanings. There's a tremendous gravity to these two lines. And he wrote a commentary on these two lines. The commentary of these two lines is consisted of 283 verses. 283 verses to explain these two lines. And if we read the 283 verses ourselves, we'll not get anything. It requires more commentaries. You getting it? This amazingly condensed concept, these two lines. And His Holiness oftentimes inspires the audience to lead our life, to design the daily practice on the basis of these two lines. And I remember 2013, 3 years before we launched the Nalanda studies, Tibet House Nalanda studies, when His Holiness was in Delhi, early morning I received a phone call from the Secretary of His Holiness and said that if you are free, His Holiness wants you here right now. Then there's no free. I just jumped. And then His Holiness gave a lengthy advice on how to administer Tibet House. So meanwhile, His Holiness also gave some personal advice. And then this is one part. His Holiness said that we can just contemplate our life on the basis of these two lines. And he said it once more. This is what His Holiness said. So, but this is what I'm saying is that this is laden with meanings. This is extremely profound. And on this basis, we say that, okay, so finally, I need to benefit all the beings, protect the beings. For this, only if you are protected, you can protect others. So for this, I need to experience the Sugadhahood. To experience Sugadhahood, I should know the path which leads to the Sugadhahood, the path to be taught to others. So for that matter, the initial drive should be compassion, that I should benefit all the beings. So this will then take us to become a reliable guide. So it says, okay, let's say this together one time, on these two lines together. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukada, and protector to your administrations. Arya Nagarjuna, we need to know a little bit about this great teacher, Arya Nagarjuna. So just for the time being, let's say 1st century AD. And the date is little, say, disputable, but let's say 1st century AD. And this great teacher, he was born to an extremely wealthy family. And the astrologer in those days, when the child is born, the astrologer is always consulted. With the consultation, then they come to discover that this boy is not going to live for more than 7 days. And then the two parents, they requested if anything can be done to prolong the lifespan of the child. And then the astrologer, they suggested to engage in virtuous acts of generosity, say the generosity for the monks, nuns, poor people, and so forth. And then he said that if you do this, it'll extend to 7 months. Then closer to 7 months, again the parents, they request if something can be done. Again multiplied the virtue that you did even more. They did it, and it can be extended to 7 years. Then after this, full stop, nothing can be done. This was the astrologer's words. So closer towards the 7th year, the parents, they could not bear to see their own child dying. So what they did was that they sent the helper with the child, whatever they need on the way to eat, and the support system like gold, silver, whatever they sent. And then just ask the maid to take the child and leave the place so that we cannot see the child dying. They took. And finally, and they come across one great saint, Samsara. Samsara. And Samsara could see that through the power of the spiritual evolution, he could see that this child is very special. So ask the person, where you take this child? And then narrate all the story. And the saint said that, don't worry, keep the child with me. And then he performed all these initiations, empowerments, all these the rituals practice that he did related to the associated with the child, and this child eventually became Arya Nagarjuna, right, and revered as the second Buddha in the domain of the Mahayana tradition. He's revered as second Buddha. Okay, so his contributions, the most important contribution that he made is Mula Madhyamaka Karika, the fundamental wisdom of the middle way. This is the most important legacy of this great teacher. So this is what is known as the corpus of the six treatises. The corpus of the six treatises. The most important one is the Mula Madhyamaka Karika, or in English, the fundamental wisdom of the middle way. In Tibetan, Tsawashirap, Uma Tsawashirap. And the compositions like 60 stanzas, 70 stanzas, the Ratnamala, and so forth. These are all the appendages of this text, Mula Madhyamaka Karika. So this is like the appendage of this main text. It's supplementary to the main text. And yet this is so profound. This text is so profound. Is about the ultimate, what constitutes ultimate reality. So we talked about waking up from the sleep of ignorance to be freed from the entanglement of with the emotions of fear and so forth in the dream, to free us from the destructive emotions, very scary emotions. We have to wake up. What do you mean by waking up? Waking up means to know the reality as it is. What's the reality? So the reality is as explained here. So let's quickly read. I will read this and we'll try to explain. 60 stanzas of the reasoning by Arya Nagarjuna. Sanskrit title, Yukti Sadhika Karika. Tibetan, Rigpa Tukchupa. Homage to the youthful Manjushri. Okay, Arya Manjushri, representing the wisdom. And Arya Manjushri can be depicted as a Buddha or a Bodhisattva. And in Buddhist teachings, comprehensively speaking, Buddhist teachings can be classified into two, Sutra system and the Tantra system. And these two are not dichotomous. These two are not contradictory. These two are just complementary to each other. In other words, first we need to have the Sutra system. Without the Sutra, the Tantra will make no sense to us. Sutra system must be there. And once you have it intact, you can supplement it with the Tantra. So that's the idea. According to Sutra system, Arya Manjushri, Arya Vilukteshvara, Arya Vajrapani, Arya Tara, they were all treated as a bodhisattvas. Whereas in Tantra system, they're all treated as the Buddhas. So therefore, oftentimes, you see different versions. Sometimes the Buddha of compassion, sometimes the Bodhisattva of compassion. So it depends on which system, Sutra system or Tantra system. So since this text is in the context of Sutra system, we treat our Manjushri as a Bodhisattva on what is known as the 10th level, beyond which the person attains Buddhahood. Okay, so Sanskrit title, Yukti Sadhika Karika, Tibetan Rigpa Tukchupa, homage to the youthful Arya Manjushri. So Arya Manjushri embodying the wisdom. What we are studying is the wisdom, the ultimate wisdom of emptiness. It says, homage to the great sage who taught the dependent origination, the means by which are eliminated arising and destruction. Okay. Homage to great sage. Great sage refers to the Buddha. And in the Arya Nagarjuna's text, the word of salutation is almost 100%, always to the Buddha. And that too, never ever for the Buddha having performed miracles. Never ever. Whereas the Buddha having taught the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness, wisdom of dependent origination. This is how Arya Nagarjuna always he praised the Buddha. So, how can we demarcate between the two things, the evolved beings and the non-evolved beings, or ordinary beings? How can we demarcate between the two? So there are so many ways of demarcating them. One is by, say, the people who are more attracted towards the physical appearances, like the material gain, material wealth, power, or miracle. Even the miracle is also physical, the manifestation. Say, someone who's more driven towards these, like fancy things. These are more the ordinary beings. People who are more driven towards the mental qualities, they are the evolved beings. This is how we can demarcate. So Arya Nagarjuna never praised the Buddha for his elegance of his body. He never praised the Buddha for having performed miracles. But it's all about having taught this wisdom of the emptiness, wisdom of dependent origination. So there are so many things that we can learn from Arya Nagarjuna. Look at this. Even the word of salutation to the Buddha that he made is on the basis of the Buddha's giving teachings on the wisdom, not on just telling stories, or not for him performing miracles. So this is something that we have to learn. Okay, I also have to look at things to see what I can learn from this person. Mental qualities rather than just superficial appearance, superficial attractions. So this is a big lesson for us. This is the first thing that we can really go into. Gade is all about the mental transformation. It has nothing to do with the physical appearances or physical manifestations. Okay. Homage to the great sage, referring to the Buddha, who taught dependent origination, the means by which are eliminated arising and destruction. Or say destruction, don't read this. In fact, this is translated by a great the translator, one of the greatest of the translators today, the Thudanjibala. Dr. Thudanjibala is really refined translator, really amazing. So and in fact, what I did was that usually when I'm to give teachings on this, before I come to the main teachings, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, I go through the text, teaching English, I have to text, and then I compare it with the original Tibetan, and see if there's the corrections required or any modification required. I do that, and I started doing this with this, and I was just thinking that it must be translated by the average translator. And then I edited few words here and there, and somehow I could sense this very good translation. Very good translation. And then I was curious, who must be the translator? Usually, sometimes English is so good, meanings are just altered. Sometimes the meanings are all good, but the English, it cannot really convey the meaning. I could see the meaning is probably translated, but the readers may not be able to read it properly, understand anything. So I was quite impressed. It's a good translation. Meaning-wise is good. English very good. Who must have been I checked it and it is Dr. Thudanjibala. No need to. Then I said my job is done. I put it back and then I give it to Pravinji. Right? Okay, now print it. So, where necessary, yes, of course, for all translators. Unless it is Arya Nagarjuna himself who translated, then this is a different story. Otherwise, other translators, however good, there's some mistake here and there. And my translation sometimes, which I translated like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I read it now, there's so many corrections I can see. Right? Mistakes that I can see in my own translations. So what I'm saying is that if I make corrections here and there, doesn't mean that his translation is not really worthy. This is, I would say, one of the best translations in the world today. Buddhist teachings into English, from Tibetan English. The Tibetan Jimbala's translation is one of the best translations. I would say, if not the best, the top 2, 3. The top. I would say the top. Yeah. Okay, but sometimes he can be a little flexible here and there, and so this way I'm correct doesn't mean that I'm greater. You're getting it? So if I translate it, somebody else, let alone Tibetan Jimbala, even if somebody else were to look at, somebody who knows the translation well, would look at mine, they would for sure see many mistakes here and there. This is how the translations work. Okay, so our job is to always help each other to improvise the translation. Okay, arising and destruction. Instead of destruction, it is like it is like disintegration. Don't delete it. Just give the alternative translation. Say arising and disintegration. Destruction is a very strong word. The disintegration, meaning that, for example, say the flower arises and the flower disintegrates. The house is built and then the house disintegrates. The person is born and then disintegrates. Not like destruction. Okay. So who taught Tibetan origination, the means by which I eliminated arising and destruction. So it doesn't mean that arising and disintegration are, say, the eliminated. This is not to be taken too literally. Okay, this is all contextual. Let's say that orange is sweet or sour. Hey, how many of you have tasted orange? Raise hands. All of us. What is the taste? Is it sweet or sour? Raise hands, quick. Raise hands. Yes. By the way, your name? If she would tell me. Huh? Sweet and sour. Sour is not sweet. Sweet is not sour. It's a sour sweet. Okay, they coexist. Anyone else? Raise hands. Yes. Depends. Depends on? How ripe, or what's it proper English? How ripe or how ripen? Both are correct. Okay, how ripe the orange is. If it is ripe, then are you sure the rotten one is the most ripe? Anyone else? Quick. This is not philosophy. If I ask you philosophy questions, then yes, you can be hesitant. It's not philosophy, yeah. Okay, one who tastes, the person who takes it, depends upon him. In what sense? Yes. Yes. Very good. It depends on the situation. If the person has eaten lemon before that and immediately after that eats orange, it's so sweet. And eats gulab jamun first. What is gulab jamun? Or let's say what is that? Or chocolate cake. First, followed by eating orange, it'll be sour. Right? So, these two tastes are in the same orange, they coexist. But how you interpret that, it depends on the situation. What is under what situation? Immediately after taking lemon or immediately after taking the gulab jamun, right? By the way, how many of you don't know gulab jamun? Raise hands. How many don't know gulab jamun? Okay, so Omarla, you know gulab jamun? If you know, please explain this to the Charlie, right? And gentlemen, your name? Huh? Karen's. Terrence. Terrence. Okay, Kate, you know gulab jamun? Explain this to Terrence. Anybody else who does not know gulab jamun? Okay, your name? Huh? Julius. Okay. Who knows gulab jamun? Right? Explain it. Okay. In short, gulab jamun is very sweet snacks. Extremely sweet, right? Made of sugar, dough, little bit of condensed milk. Okay, good. It depends. So, in other words, the point is that the means by which are eliminated the arising and the degeneration. Seeing that, say, okay, how many of you had experience of prank? Prank? What is prank? The lady there, the girl there. A joke to someone, yes. Anyone else? That's not true. Okay, can you give an example? Okay. Good. Thank you. Anyone else?
Practical joke.
Practical joke, like what?
Like say scaring somebody or like something that is not only words but actions.
Yes, in actions, you, in other words, create unnecessary fear in somebody, right? When the other person knows that, what is really behind that is actually your friend who is making you scared as a part of a joke. There's a prank, right? Somebody comes in the form of a ghost in the night, right? With the white bedsheet on yourself. White bedsheet is a ghost, white ghost. There's so much fear, and they remove and sometimes you get the beating also. Right? Somebody beats you up, and then you remove the bed sheet, and then you actually, as a human being, and the person feels so relief. Okay, so tell me, does relief comes to you? How this relief came to you? After realizing that it's not the ghost, it's empty of being ghost. You're getting it? It's empty of being ghost. So, when you know the reality, the fear dissolves. Okay. So, seeing that what you earlier saw was that there was a ghost there. Earlier, you had a fear because you saw a ghost. What happened to this ghost? Hey. Okay. So was it a ghost or not? It was not a ghost. It was in the facade of a ghost. Facade of a ghost is not a real ghost. So, okay. So this was amazing, right? If I can explain this to you on day 2, this verse, I'm a great success. You're getting it? Okay. Let's say that how many of you have seen mirage? Have seen mirage, results. Okay, how many of you know mirage? Even though you may not have seen that, but you know what mirage is. Okay, the girl here, tell me, what is mirage?
Actually, it's not the thing. We just see that it's there. For example, when like a big black is there, so when we see into it, we can see some kind of palace because at that side there's a mountain, but we feel that it's the real palace.
Okay,
It is real palace.
yes. Is that mirage? Okay, so what you explained is relevant to what we are discussing here. I'm wondering if somebody knows what is mirage. Anyone? Yes.
So when you go to the desert, sometimes from the far off, are so many forms and all. Actually, when you go, there is nothing, it's only sand.
Okay, did all your name?
Energy.
Indrajit ji, okay. So what Indrajit is saying is that in the desert you see so many water bodies around, ponds. When you actually go there, when you reach the place, there's nothing really there. So what you earlier saw as water was illusion. So the illusion of seeing something which is not water as water is known as mirage. Object which is not the water but appears as water, that object is known as mirage. You're getting it? Okay. So now okay, so you saw water. Say you are seeing me 1 kilometer away from you in water. You were wondering that I'm seeing him in the water is really water or a mirage. How will you evaluate that? How will you evaluate what you are seeing is water or what you see is real? Is it a mirage or a real water? How do you evaluate that? By the girl there? By going near to the object. How many your name? How many agree with Sapna? You know what Sapna is? Well, you know what Sapna is? So this is the topic which you're going to discuss all the 7 days. Dream. Right? Okay, thank you, Sapna. Okay, so how do you evaluate this is by going closer, right? By going closer, you discover that there's no water there, which means what will you conclude? What you earlier saw as water was a mirage. What you earlier saw as a mirage, no, as a water was actually a mirage. You getting it? Okay, now tell me, where is that mirage that you are seeing? Where is it? Huh? Okay, raise hands. Where's the mirage? In your mind, but you're looking there. You're not looking at the mind. Anyone else? Where's the mirage? Hey. Dorji was saying mind. It's nowhere. You are seeing it, right? You are seeing it. So mirage doesn't exist.
Mirage exists, but there's nothing like.
Mirage exists or not? It exists where? In the retina. So people should come to look at the eyes. Because it's in the retina. Huh? No, I'm not asking the image of the mirage. I'm asking the mirage. Right? So where's the mirage? Over there.
It's the heat rising, so it's optical illusion. Yes, from the heat rising.
No, I'm not asking where it's coming from. I'm asking where is it?
In the perception,
In the perception where? Outside or inside?
inside,
Inside. So we have to come to look at you.
everybody's inside, whoever perceives.
Also, so your name?
Bunny.
Bunny. So everybody has to come to Bunny's to see, the Bunny's mind to see mirage.
Everybody's well.
Huh? Okay, anyone else? Where is mirage? Okay. Where? Outside or inside? In the mind, inside the mind. Okay. So people like to see the Ajitogala's mind? Okay. Where's the mirage? This is a big question. Huh? Huh? Where is it? Outside, inside? Inside. So we have to go to all Jigmelas you, to your place, to your mind. Yes. Okay. So he'll be very busy. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. It's nowhere. Does it not exist? It doesn't. Mirage doesn't exist. Okay. That's interesting. How many say that mirage does not exist? How many say mirage does exist, but it's not? It does exist. It exists as a mirage. It does not exist as water. Understand? Okay, many. Okay, so how do you decide whether mirage exists or not? Anyone? How do you decide? So because Advaita is saying mirage does not exist in the first place, and the other saying it does exist. How do you evaluate? Huh? This big question. Yes.
It's an optical illusion, but we think it as a real. So,
Does it exist? Does it exist?
not real.
Does it exist? So true. Okay, anyone else? Okay, the boy over there?
Mirage objectively and technically exists. It exists in the real world scene. So even if he comes or my place, he can see it. Even if someone else comes, it is there. Actually there. You're not talking about a water body, is it there? You're talking about a mirage.
Are you from physics background? What's your background?
I'm a history on it.
You look like a physicist. How you talk, so articulate, very clear. Okay, thank you. So your name? What Rinzila is saying is that mirage should exist because anybody looks at it, you are seeing something. But what you are seeing, it appears as water. It does not exist as water, but it does exist. If it does not exist, then people should not be looking at the same object to say that, oh, there's the water body there, there's a mirage there. They point to the same object, okay, which means that there's something there. But what is there? It appears as water. It is not water. It's mirage. So mirage exists, but does not exist as water. This is what Rizal is saying. Okay.
I just wanted to add that also, even when you go into mirage, if you're in that same place where you see it, it still stays there as a mirage. Even when you know that it's not water and it is a mirage, it still stays there.
Okay. So these two are, the same point, and the very good point. And so two of you give the answer to my question, right? So what I will say is, I don't mean to reject you. I'd like to give a question, and then you give the answer, and see how you can answer it properly. Say, we all put on the blue glasses on, and look at this snow. The whole Mount Everest snow appears as blue. You're getting it? And we're all saying that there's a blue snow there, right? And the blue snow never disappears till you remove the glasses. As long as you put on the glasses, you continue to see the blue snow there. Does it mean the blue snow is there? No. So likewise, how can you say the mirage is there? Simply because we are seeing the same thing all the time. Everybody is seeing the same thing. Doesn't mean that it should be there. Nature's making us believe that there's the blue snow there. Yes. It doesn't matter whether man-made or, right? Wow.
The perception of light that we are seeing. So if it is a blue mountain and God has put me like giving birth here, I had blue glasses on and I'm seeing the blue.
So those people who are gifted with the colorblind, right? So for them, there's no color. Because God gifted them with the blind, they were colorblind. You're right. So therefore, it's black and white. Okay. Good. Okay. 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 Anybody who can explain this so that others can easily understand it? Huh? We get stuck there in the first verse. What? Do you want to explain this?
On the extension of the dress.
Yes, of course.
I feel that exists as a light refraction phenomenon, but not as a object, universal object, like mirage or the mountain appearing blue. It's because of the phenomena that the light passes through the blue lens.
Okay, blue snow, does it exist?
I mean, snow can have many colors that are probably not
blue suit, does it exist?
I mean, if you wear glass, blue glass, then it may appear as blue. The phenomena can exist, but not.
No, I did not ask whether it can appear as blue. My question, does it exist? Uh-huh. Just say no. And make it very simple. Right? Okay, good. Okay. So the point is that what is being taught here is that, say, we need to know, say, waking up. When you wake up, in what way waking up helps us to remove the fears of nightmare? Quick, somebody, quick. In what way it helps us to remove the fear of nightmare by waking up? Quick. No, raise hands. Raise hands. Quick, somebody. The boy there? Your name? Yeah, John, tell me. Repeat what? Question. The question is, waking up, how does waking up help us to remove the fears of nightmare? Okay, the girl there. So? But in the dream you fight with the others. There's no people in the dream. There you are fighting. No, you are sleeping. Still the people are not there. Nobody's there. When you sleep, when you have the dream, are there people fighting with you? Not real, right? So why are you fighting? The boy there.
When we wake up, it helps us to realize the reality and helps us to know that what we were showing was just a dream.
Okay, so your name? Pamela Ginzala is saying that when you wake up, in what it helps is that you discover the reality. What's the reality? That what the people, the dream people with whom you are fighting, they were actually not real. This is the reality. So the dream people, they were empty of being real. That's the reality. Do you get it? Okay, now each one of us, we have to be able to repeat what Pema Ginzala said. Ready? Each one of us. Ready? Ready to raise hands. If you're ready to raise hands. Hey, what happened? Raise hands, raise hands. Okay. Those who are not raising hands, you don't want to budge an inch. Right? You don't want to budge an inch. Okay, no matter what you say, does not move. Okay. Yes, Pinzole. When you wake up, you discover the reality. What's the reality? What I earlier saw, the people with whom I fought, they were not real. They were empty of being real. That's the reality. Tell me, what's the reality of that dream? One by one. Ready? One by one. From left to right or right to left? Can you tell me? What's the reality? Reality is that the people with whom you were fighting the dream, they were not real. They were empty of being real. That's the reality. Okay, should I begin from here or here? Two of you decide. Now Pierre is looking at here. And Brother Tipi is looking at me. Okay, Brother Tipi.
I'm not sure of the definition of
Not definition, just explain.
reality. What do you mean? Just now, I didn't get you.
The people with whom you are fighting in the dream, they're empty of being real. That is the reality. Right? Okay, how many got it? Raise hands.
Yeah, and the question?
Question was the reality. And the answer is already given. Right? How many got the question? How many got the answer? Raise hands. Okay, good. So now the okay, raise hands. Who's going to repeat the question? And who's going to repeat the answer? Raise hands. Raise hands, raise hands. Raise hands. Oh. Okay, the girl over there.
The answer is actually to wake up from the dream and you understand the solution and then you understand what reality is.
What's the reality?
Reality that is not the dream, like what real.
No, what is the reality? What is the reality that you've discovered upon waking up? That the contents of the dream were not real, were empty of being real. Not real, empty of being real. How many got it? Resents. Okay, how many can say this? Resent. Okay, ajigasana.
The dream people were empty of being real.
The dream people were being empty of being real. Very good. Sharipema? Upon waking up.
The answer of the question.
Question, the answer.
Answer is that upon waking up, all the objects and the people and will be
All the objects or the people in the dream are empty of being real. Very good. Yes.
In simplistic ways, I think the dream is created by our own mind, and it's not real, right? But the reality is when we wake up and we either open and see the thing around us, that makes the difference that this is not real and this is real. So the reality is when we open up, it's more clear.
So, what is that reality that you discovered upon waking up?
You can discover the reality when you wake up from the dream, which is not the real thing.
Very good. The dream not being real. The contents of the dream not being real is the reality that I discovered. The girl over there?
But then, when you wake up, you realize this reality, but I don't think this reality is not real.
Say it again. Okay, so first let us take one step. First step is done, right? Look at how much time I'm spending for people to get to the first step. You are jumping to the 10th step. It's wonderful. But first let us climb the first step, right? Okay, anybody last? Anyone who likes to give dance over there?
Let me try and explain it in simple the way I understood it. The question was how waking up eliminate mind.
Very good.
The answer is waking up brings us back to reality. Waking up helps us understand that the dream was an illusion. Dream was reality.
Answer is perfect. That waking up helps us to get free from the nightmare, because then you come to discover the reality that the contents of dream are empty of being real. Very good. Okay. Now what most of you already said, let's move to the next step. What's your girl? The girl's name, what's your name? Garina. Okay, let's move to the Garinas. Now, just as you discover that the dream is empty of being real, now, even what we see as what is happening now, waking up is also empty of being real. In other words, everything is empty of being real. Let me repeat it. So discovering the dream, contents of dream as empty of being real is the example. And with this example, our job is to know that everything is empty of being real. Everything is empty of being real. How do we know that? This is a big question, and we cannot take it blindly. Meaning that we cannot just blindly follow, Arya Nagarjuna taught it, Buddha taught it. No, this is not how it works. We have to know how it works. For example, say that the gravity, how the gravity works. For example, like the gadgets, how the laptop works, how the iPad works, how somebody said it may be true. No, we have to know how it works. So there's a proper mechanism there. We have to know the mechanism, how everything is empty of being real. So just as you wake up from the dream, you're freed from the nightmare of the dream. We wake up from the conventional world, we are freed from the nightmare of the conventional world. You getting it? We are okay. So anecdote that I was sharing with you, there are two parties and I'm in the middle. Hey, two parties there, I'm in the middle, and I'm trying to bridge the two, and both of them said no, right? So they say the party A says no, Geshe-la. Party B says no, Geshe-la. And Geshe-la says both of them are seen as so objective real, right? So when you see this objective real, there's a problem. Party A seeing Party B and Geshe-la as object real, there's a problem. Party B seeing Party A and Geshe-la as object real, there's a problem. Geshe-la seeing both of them as object real, there's a problem. So that the point is that if you wake up from this sleep of ignorance, all our fears, agitation of our life will stop. That is the absolute peace. Okay, so how to do that? We have to know the mechanism. Don't just pray, Buddha, please let me have the experience. It will never happen, right? It's not that, what is this? There's no faith. There's no element of faith. It's just purely mechanical thing. Reality. Say, believe it or not, even if I pray to Buddha, 100,000 times, I will not become a Nobel laureate in physics, 100%. Do you agree with me or not? If you want to become Nobel laureate, you have to study. The Buddha taught study. You're getting it? So the faith alone will never take us to full awakening. So for that we need to know the mechanism by which the awakening happens. So what we said is that awakening happens by seeing the reality. And what's the reality? The reality is that everything is empty of being objectively real. Okay, next. Okay, look at this. What do you see? Right? Many people who know me so well, they would not even look at it. They would say it's a flower. They know that he must be holding a flower. You getting it? Okay, now what is my right hand? Nothing. Right? Don't make it complicated. Empty a flower. Right? Just in nothing. You getting it? Just in nothing. It's correct. It's correct. It's correct. But just in nothing. You're getting it? Right? So the philosophers, they are, philosophers, they try to just, they ostracize the common people from their domain. They don't allow them to come into philosophy. It's just we jargons of philosophy. So the ordinary people, they will feel, lost. And then that's good. So they stay in this themselves. So the philosophers, right? So they, make things simple. So what is my left hand? A yellow flower. What is my right hand? Nothing. Just imagine a blue flower. Imagine a blue flower. Okay, now tell me, what is my left hand? Yellow flower. What is my left hand? Okay, say the left hand is a yellow flower. In my right hand is an imaginary blue flower. Tell me, what's the difference between these two things? Raise your hands. Yes, over there, the boy, Jimela. Yes, tell me. Okay, the one in my left hand exists, and the right hand doesn't exist. Anyone else? There are so many differences there. The boy here.
The yellow flower exists in reality and the blue flower exists in your imagination.
Okay, the one in my right hand exists in my imagination. Good, John. The yellow flower is physical, and the one in my right hand is a gentle, it's just a mental image. Okay. It comes to the say, listen, do you agree with me? You talked about one is real there, the other one is in your mind, imaginary, right? This is how you described. Can I use the word that this flower, in the loose sense, that this flower exists from the object and the imaginary flower exists from the mind, from the subject? Do you agree? Okay, so this in loose sense meaning that what's the real reality we're going to explore. In the loose sense, before we jump into the reality, in loose sense we can say that this yellow flower exists objectively, yes, and the imaginary blue flower exists subjectively. You're getting it? This is very important concept. Okay, let's say dream. It exists objectively, subjectively. Subjectively. Dream exists subjectively. And mirage exists objectively, subjectively. Huh? Okay. So how many of you would say objectively resents? Subjectively? Okay, half. So we need to settle on this. How many have seen rainbow? Rainbow. Objectively, subjectively. It exists objectively, subjectively. Okay, again there's a split there. Tell me, how many of you think rainbow is objectively real? Objectively real. How many think subjectively real resents? Again we see it's split half. So it's like the Democrats and the Republican, right? It's half always. Okay. Dream. Subjective, objective. Huh? Resents, subjective resents. Dream, objective resents. Dream, objective? What makes you think it's objective? Dream is purely coming from your mind or from the object? It's subjective. Very good. So in the context of flower, it's subjective. Okay. Now let's say that when we say emptiness, it also means that it's empty completely. You're getting it? Say, we all said that dream is subjective. Dream, does it exist or not? Dream exists, resents. Dream exists. It exists subjectively, resents. It does not exist objectively, resents. Good. So from this what we learned is that dream exists subjectively. So now we are learning the technical side of this. When I say, okay, the example is that let's say that this flower is lying next to a Dorji, and then I go and grab the flower and say that this is mine, right? This is mine. Does it mean that? Do you agree with me that it's another way of saying it is not yours? Do you agree? When I say it's mine, it's another way of saying it is not yours. If I say it's not yours, it's very offensive. Right? It's very offensive. But if I say it's mine, it is a nice way of saying it's not yours. Actually, these two mean the same. Right? Not yours, not empty, nil. They mean the same. So when I say it is mine, it's another way of saying it is empty of being yours. You agree? How many agree with me, resents? Good. Now when I say the dream is subjective, it implies what? Is empty of being objective. So when we say emptiness, it simply means, think of the dream. You all said the dream exists, but it's empty of being objective. The dream is empty of objective reality, objective existence. So when we say emptiness simply means Emptiness is short form of emptiness of objective existence. It doesn't mean that the flower doesn't exist. Flower exists, but it's empty of objective existence. You're getting it? Emptiness means that's empty of objective existence. It doesn't mean that flower doesn't exist. It does exist. Everything exists, but nothing exists objectively. Okay, what will be the next question? Was it reality, or somebody said how? Who said it? No, how is it empty of objective existence? How is it empty of objective existence? The reality is the flower being empty of objective existence is the reality. So what's the reality? Reality is that the flower being empty of objective existence is the reality. Right? But how do you know that? This next question. You getting it? Okay. So, say, okay, now, look at the person sitting next to you. Look at the person sitting next to you. Wow, people are smiling. Right? You're all enjoying. Smiling. I didn't ask you to smile. I just asked you to look at the other person. Okay, look at the other person. Okay, still they are smiling. Some people are trying to control their smile. Right, some try to control the smile. Okay, so we see that you're smiling at the other person. Now, close your eyes and think of the person who made you smile. Okay, good. Nobody's smiling now. Right? If you smile now, I will ask Ajirji if there's a mental hospital nearby. You're getting it? You will be sent to the mental hospital. Nobody smiled. Now tell me, in the first case you smiled. In the second case you did not smile. In the first case, the face, it made you smile. In the second case you thought of the same face, but it did not make you smile. It did not make you smile. Why? Anyone? Raise your hands. Why in the first case you smiled, when the second case you did not smile? Why? No, you can engage. What's the problem? Okay, you don't engage with it. Okay, good. Yes, the Sabna. Did you hear what Sabna is saying? Sabna is saying that the other person, when you look at the other person, you see the person is not your mind. It's not a part of your mind. When you think of this, it's just, what are you thinking? It's all purely coming from your mind. When you know that it's coming from your mind, then your emotions are under your control. Right? Emotions are under your control. When you think that it is out of your mind, outside your mind, or independent of your mind, then your emotion becomes vulnerable. Right? Vulnerable meaning that if it's pleasant, smile. And if it's not pleasant, still you have to smile. Because that, you may be wondering what the other person thinks about me. Right? So it makes you smile. Whereas if you know that it's purely coming from your mind, your emotion is under control. Right? And so when you know it's coming from your mind, still you smile means, then right? You know what it is. Your name? The girl here. And they say if somebody smiles, then what's the thing? No, I'm asking the Mian. If somebody smiles, just think of the person smiles and mental illness, right? Okay, thank you, Mian. Okay, so the point is that when you know that it's your own mental construct, that your mind is creating it, then your emotions are under control. Whereas when you see it's independent of your mind, there your emotion becomes vulnerable. You become vulnerable to your emotions. You getting it? So when you saying So somebody who dislikes you, the person passes by, what happens? Say you are meditating, right? Okay, today I have a good time in the what? Diabag Center, Diabag Institute. Wow, so peaceful. And suddenly from nowhere, the person, your neighbor, very complicated neighbor, passes by. Right? What happens? Hey, huh? Sananda, a very complicated neighbor passes by you, in Diabag suddenly. Then what happens to you? Like you, this is a facial. Yes, what happened? Right. So, what happened? Right. Okay. So this is it. Then what happens? And if the person, and then the person didn't know that you were there, and the person stops there right in front of you, right? Then your heart starts to palpitate, right? Tick, 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 right? Okay. So look. So you look. Do you want to experience that feeling? Huh? Tick, tick. You want to experience that? You don't want to experience that, but it happens. You are vulnerable. You're weak. Whereas, right, you are not expecting your mom, dad, someone who you love so much, and you are not expecting, and suddenly you're just, and then the person passes by. What happens? There's excitement. You burst into excitement. You're getting it? Again, you are weak. You are vulnerable to the emotions because of seeing them as objectively real. Whereas, okay, think of the nasty person. Nasty person, the person the person who dislikes you. Think of that person. Close your eyes and think of that person. And I'm sure many of you say, I don't have such person. Well, you have, I know. Right, think of that person. Okay, no, you are thinking about this person, still you are smiling because you know that is your emotions under control, right? Okay, now think of the very kind person, extremely nice person passing by you. Okay, still you are not smiling because although you think of the good persons passing by you, knowing that it's coming from a mind, your emotions are under control. You're getting it? Your emotions are under control. For example, His Holiness. His Holiness, when he in the public gatherings, say small children, they perform the dance, right? And His Holiness, if you keep him by himself, right, dance, song, these are totally boring for him. I know His Holiness. It's very boring, right? His emotion is totally under control with respect to a dance. It doesn't become excited. Total under control. But when the small children are there, look at His Holiness. His Holiness will do like this, do like this. Inside, there's no interest. By doing this, just to make the small children happy. Your emotions under total control. But given the impression is so like, I'm with you, right? Is all of compassion. So your negative emotions are under control, involuntary emotions are control, and the compassion manifests to make others happy. This is the power of the Bodhisattva's practice. Okay, so under control, so likewise seeing everything like a dream, nothing objectively real, it's all coming from a mind, your emotions come under control. And no fear. No anger, no attachment, no jealousy. None of these emotions, they will take you over. They're under control. Okay. So with this, the point is that from this, what is the message? Take away. Anyone? What do we need to learn if we want to manage our emotions? They have the emotions out of control. What should we have to do? Quick. Resent. Indrajitji. Okay, to know, very good. Anyone else who likes to add or modify, whatever. Ajay Kesana? To make difference between objective and subjective, and to know that objective is non-existent, everything is subjective. To know that nothing is the objective, everything is subjective. To know this, your emotions will come under control. You getting it? So what is your job? What is your job now? Raise hands. Raise hands. What is your job now? Raise hands. Yes, the girl here. Think of everything as mental projection, or this is the meaning of they tame your mind. How? By knowing everything is mental projection, or things are empty of objective existence. So we can say it in all these different forms. You're getting it? So our job is to study the emptiness of objective existence and put it in different words that everything is subjective real. And if you really understand this, this is the best way of understanding to how to tame your mind. You're getting it? Good. Okay, so now it becomes easier for us. So we see that in our life, do you agree with me that our complications in our life, our complications are somehow related to arising and disintegration, arising and disintegration. You agree with me? For example, like say, retreat, Deer Park, right? Delhi pollution, Deer Park, very clear weather, very fresh air. Yes, Dorji. Fresh air, right? Delhi very polluted, fresh air. So I don't know about the retreat, but for sure I will have a fresh air. So there's excitement there. Now for me, I'm meeting with the fresh air is arising, right? And then the meeting with the pollution is decreasing, right? Arising, ceasing, right? And then you say being together, you come to know each other, and then, this person is so beneficial in, helping me with this. Let's say Sonamla is so helpful, right? Explaining things for us, good discussion. So, we have created a Sangha member. Okay, now we are separating. What do you mean separating? Now this coming together is disintegrating. You feel sad, right? So difficult relationship is disintegrating, very happy, right? So we see that our life is just arising of good things, happy. Degenerating of good things, unhappy. Arising of bad things, very unhappy. Disintegrating of bad things, very happy, right? Ukraine war arising, very unhappy. Ukraine war, how I wish that it comes to stop, is very happy. Likewise, the Hamas and the Israel war is arising, very sad. And it should stop. If it stops, if it disintegrates, if it goes away, I'll be so happy. So, my complicated neighbor, right? Okay, now after retreat, again I have to go include arising of meeting with the word. Complicated neighbor happens, very unhappy, right? Now complicating neighbor is the word, leaving for the word. Leaving for vacation, or say the moving, the place. Altogether very happy. You're getting it? A good person is coming, very happy. Good person leaving, very unhappy. So this is our life. So this is our life. And then the what? So some politicians, one of the propaganda is what? Change. Right? Change means what? What was already existent should stop. New things should arise. Again, look, arising and ceasing, arising, ceasing. This is what dominates our life. And then that throws us into different emotions. So, if you see this phenomenon of arising, ceasing as like a dream, anything which is related, associated with this phenomenon of arising, ceasing, we see them as dream.